So hello, my name is Serge. I'm a co-founder and CTO of TradeIt. And today I'm going to be talking about how you can monetize your financial app or website with the TradeIt trading APIs. So when we launched the trading API at the beginning of the year, and we started going to see the partners and having them integrate our APIs, one of the first questions that would always pop up is, I love your product, but how can I monetize it? Or, I love your product, it increases user engagement, but I'm looking for user acquisition or monetization methods. So very quickly after we did our APIs, we started focusing on methods for our partners to monetizing on our APIs right away. So that's why I thought this topic would be very interesting to cover today. So before I go into the monetization options that you can have with our trading APIs, let's look at the market opportunities. So in the US, and again, this presentation is going to be very US-centric, as our product is mainly on the US today. So in the US, you have 50 million self-directed investors, 45% of whom have $25,000 or more in investable assets. This number is growing nicely every year. As of 2013, it was growing by 4.9% every year. There are over $1 billion online trades annually in the US. Most of those trades are made today on desktop, but we're seeing a shift to mobile trades. Online brokers spend $2 billion a year on advertising. And as you can see, if you go to online websites, this advertising is still very traditional. So they use static banners to open accounts, or they invest a lot in TV commercials. And they're really looking forward to new ways of reaching to their customers. So on one hand, you have like those brokers investing $2 billion a year on marketing. And on the other hand, you have those app makers or financial site makers that are lacking ways to make revenues. They're paying a lot of money to get the data, and they're trying to monetize on this data. And also, they're all lacking the last mile. You can go today on Amazon, you like the product, you can buy it right there, thanks to Braintree or PayPal or any other payment method. If I go on my favorite financial app, I can have the best recommendation. If I want to trade the stock, I have to change the app, go to my broker's app, log in, find the stock again, and trade it. That's a very bad user experience. So how can we cut that chain going from the idea to actually executing a trade, and at the same time allowing the app maker to generate revenue on it? So that's why we came up with TradeIt. So TradeIt is an API product that allows consumers to trade from any of our partner sites with the brokers of their choice. Today, we support most leading US brokers, and we plan to support all US brokers by the end of the year. We also plan to expand in Europe and Asia by early next year. As you can see, we have the top 5 brokers and even what you call the second-tier brokers. We have a growing network of partners. So we launched in January on TheStreet.com, which is a large financial website in the US, and then on a few mobile apps, Stock Tracker and Rubycoin, which is an app based in Dublin. And we're planning to grow our network of partners very quickly by launching on the Motley Fool, MarketWatch, and 20 other partners. So I'm going to show you a quick example of how our technology has been integrated on mobile. All right. So those are a few apps that integrated our technology. Since we're on this side of the continent, I'm going to use a Dublin-based app to do the demo. So Rubycoin is an app that gives a stock recommendation. As you can see, it's a nicely designed app. I can look at all the stocks they recommend. Now I want to buy PayPal, since we're talking about payment. I can read about the stocks. I can see why they recommend to buy the stocks. And I have this big Invest Now button. Click on it. I use Touch ID to authenticate myself. I've linked TD, Options House, and Fidelity with the app. So I've already went through the hustle of linking my credentials with the app. So I'm going to use Options House as my broker. Right, 12 shares. I want to do a limit order. Oh, no. I'm going to the price of $20. I click trade. We authenticate the user. We get the review screen. I submit the order, and bam, I'm done. I just bought the stock.
What was the name of the app you used?
Rubycoin.
Rubycoin.
Yeah. Great app.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Cool. So now let's dive into the different monetization options when using our APIs. So as I said, that was one of the main questions publishers would ask us: how can you monetize your APIs? And in order for them to prioritize integrating our APIs versus other products they're building, monetization was a key decision point. So the first and most obvious monetization strategy is to be paid on the order flow. So publishers are allowed to take up to $1 per order without having to be registered as a broker-dealer or an investment advisor. So it's important to see that it's on the order, not on the transaction. This way it can be packaged as a technology fee. And we're putting in place a revenue share program by the end of the year where all the publishers we're working with will be able to take a cut on that order flow. It takes a lot of time to build the order flow. So the dollar per order is very interesting once you have scale. So we started looking at ways to generating money much faster than just waiting for the volume to grow. So we did a few deals with some brokers who were interested in sponsoring one of our partners' app. So as you can see, sponsoring means when you go to select a broker, you have a preferred broker placement. Or when you're about to place a trade, you have the broker's skin on the trading ticket. And we've seen that some brokers are ready to pay 6 figures as a monthly fee to sponsor the apps. And for smaller apps, they're paying like more in the 5 figures. And before even TradeIt existed, we know of some apps that had exclusive deals with some brokers, and were being paid 7 figures or more a year to be the exclusive sponsor. So we see sponsorship as a key way to generate revenues quickly by integrating the trading apps, the trading APIs. That's a very interesting way to generate money as well, sponsored market widget. So that's a very simple market widget. Displays basic charts about the indices. You see the top most active stocks for that index, and you can trade right away from the widget. You can trade only with Fidelity, so the ticket is only for Fidelity. So it's not a multi-broker widget at this point. Fidelity sponsors that widget. We distribute it on all our financial partner sites or blogs. And then the sites get paid per CPM. So it's even better because you don't have to wait to generate the volume, or you don't have to prove you can generate order flow. You get paid by CPM. And you can also, I mean, that was a very simple example of a widget we created, but you can come up with many different types of widgets that shows cooler analytics that you could embed on different sites and have the trading right in the widget. Targeting in context, as you can imagine, brokers are ready to pay a higher fee if they can market right when you're going to make the trading action. So this is on our on the street.com, right next to the buy sell button, you have an ad. And this is the same thing in one of our partners' app that integrated the TradeIt API. So here I'm on the trading ticket, and I have an ad from the broker. As you can see, if it's a Fidelity account, Fidelity can put ads about add more funds to your account, or open a second account, or transfer your funds into other stocks into your Fidelity account. If it's an E-Trade account, then it's going to be switch to Fidelity. Also, what's interesting is, for example, Fidelity knows it has a lower commission than E-Trade, so it could market switch to Fidelity, you're going to pay less commission. If it's a Scottrade account, since Fidelity doesn't have a lower commission than Scottrade, you could say, switch to Fidelity, you're going to have better research or better advisors. So that's another concept we came up with our partner Market. So with Market, we did some research, and we found out that 40% of people who click on the open account ads that are on the financial websites do it to go back to their broker to trade. So basically, they're using those open account ads as a navigational tool. So, I mean, the most obvious answer to that is to do a tradable ad unit. So the ad unit is about just one stock. The stock is determined based on the information you're looking at on the page. So if I'm looking at an Apple quote page, the ad is going to be about Apple. Or if I'm reading an article about Apple, the ad is going to be on Apple. And it's only about one broker. You hover over the ad, and you can trade from the ad. And we're building a bidding exchange where brokers can bid on a specific stock. So for example, if there's a great news about Apple, most likely people are going to be trading Apple today from whatever news site they're reading about Apple. So they're going to be willing to bid more on the Apple's trade unit. This is kind of a similar example, but about ETF. So we spoke a lot about brokers, but ETF is also another financial institution that is paying a lot in advertisements. So ETF is an exchange-traded fund, and ETF are interested in consumers buying their stock. So same thing. Here I'm reading an article about earnings, and I have an ad from WisdomTree ETF to buy the earnings 500 index. I can hover over the stock. Here is a multi-broker ad unit. So I select my broker, and I do my trade with the broker. Social medias. A lot of our partners have large followers on Twitter. As they generate a lot of data, they talk about that data. You should buy Apple stock because this or this information I found out through my research. So we created a small tradable link that you can add to your stock tweet, and that opens a trading ticket where the user can trade. So for people that have a large amount of followers, they can generate a lot of trade like that. And the trading ticket could be multi-broker, and they could get revenues on the order flow. Or the trading ticket could be just for one broker, and then they could get some kind of sponsorship revenues. So account opening is really the bread and the butter of brokerage marketing money. That's where they put most of the money. For account opening, we're building a new type of API. So we're building a broker exchange. With a broker exchange, people are going to be able to apply through us. We validate their information. We run some credit checks on them. And brokers can bid on the user based on the credit check we did on the user. So this way, users get better deal. Brokers get qualified users. And our partners who embed that broker exchange within their app or their website can get paid on opening accounts. So you don't even have to leave your favorite app now to open an account. And as you can see, for account opening, apps are traditionally paid between $100 and $150 on average, and it can go up to $500 if it's a very qualified user. So what's next for TradeIt? We have built our trading API. We're finishing our account opening API, and we're working with the brokers to set up the different deals. But we want to continue building APIs on all the different broker services. So account aggregation. Today, you have APIs such as Yodlee that allows you to import your portfolio and look at your account balances. But all those APIs are not real time. They usually have to wait 1 day. It's usually 1 day delay data. It's fine if you cannot trade from the app. But if you're trading from the app and you see discrepancy between the trade you just did and the portfolio you see in the app, you're not going to be very happy about it. So we're building a real-time account aggregation API. Account transfer, we're connecting to ACAT to be able to give the opportunity for the user to be able to transfer a stock from one broker to another through our APIs. And account funding, so being able to fund your account from anywhere. Again, funding today with brokers is only through ACH or Wire. We're looking at doing funding through ACH, Wire, PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoins. And as you can see, as we deploy those services, you can have even more ways to monetize on those APIs. So hopefully, once we deploy TradeIt and have a full functionality and a full brokerage platform on all of the US brokers, and even Asian and European brokers, we hope that app developers will come up with the next great idea to generate revenues on brokers or the next great trading platform, and that they will finally be able to monetize on the large amount of investors without having to be becoming a broker themselves. Thank you.
It's funny that I've been stuck at security. I forget my badge for the last talk. So thank you for this one. We have time for a few questions. Scratching again. Yeah, have you heard about like the Aviva contract, insurance contract? You know, just a quick story, but like in France, like the real-time quotation was in 1987. I've read the article like yesterday, and so they made a product that was you were able to invest from last known quotation because you had only one quotation a week. So to have a safe contract, you were able to buy or sell from last quotation. So it was good, right? It was like a safe investment to avoid like cracks, right? Yeah. But because of that, then we had real-time quotation. We had real-time quotation, and the contract was still going. So now you can invest like on Thursday from last known quotation, you know, like and go up. That can be really up or down. So and now this contract worth more than few $1 billion. But there were like few $100, right? So this is a big thing in the Aviva. You can look for Aviva like insurance contract called ABV like B thing, but so just to show that how things have changed. But now I've seen that you can buy on a mobile app like in few clicks. You can buy something like so. Things have changed so much, and I just want to ask you how today is the trend of like mobile buying? Like, what do you see on this?
Well, I think what we noticed really is if you compare commerce to brokerage, commerce is much more advanced than brokerage. Opening an account takes a few hours. With brokerage, opening an account takes a few days. Funding your account is instant. With brokers, funding your accounts takes 1 day at least. So I think the future of brokers is really to become more and more like commerce, where you can trade from anywhere, you can fund your account from anywhere, and we're really going to get closer and closer to what we see in e-commerce with brokerage.
Okay. So and with what you see the trends, like does it become more a pulsion or still an investment? Like it's more like how the gamification.
Today what we see much more volume on mobile than we see on desktop. So I would say today it's more of a pulsion because you're on your mobile and you really want to trade very fast. Tomorrow, as people build better user experience and better trading ticket, you actually won't want to go to your broker anymore. You just want to trade from your best app. Same thing as today, you'd rather be on Mint to analyze your bank statement than to go to your bank account.
I have a question. If I understand you right, you are in the app or on a website or whatever. You click and you get a list, propose a list of broker to play with. Are you presenting the list in a contextual way as well? Could be that if I'm in a certain location, only few brokers are showing up, because at the moment the list is about 7, 8. There are plenty of solutions out there. Could be a 20 list.
Yeah, so I mean, today we're just US focused,
right.
And we cover about 10 brokers, and just the top 5 brokers represent like 90% of the market.
Right.
So that list is kind of comprehensive for the US market. As we grow, I think it's going to be more contextual. So if you're in Asia, it's going to be more Asian brokers. If you're in Europe, it's going to be more European brokers. And also, depending on the deal that the app could make with the broker-dealer, you could have a preferred broker or just a specific brokers.
And can you tell us something about European? What are you planning to do in Europe, and where and how? And
so we're looking at the regulation today in Europe, and we got clearance to be able to go into Europe. We're focusing first on the UK and the German markets by Q1 next year, and then we're going to go into the remaining markets after.
Thank you, Serge. Thank you very much.
Thank you.